The Kent State University Museum has partnered up for the first time ever with the Wick Poetry Center. What did they create? Coming up.
A landmark building in Kent may soon become a medical marijuana dispensary, the second in the city. TV2 has the details.
And a group of migrants from a small Texas border town are being released into the U.S., how the U.S. is dealing with the migrants, and more.
Partnered
and
with
the Federal
NACC
Reserve is
disaster.
getting ready to roll back its massive stimulus. What this means and more as TV2 starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
It's the first day of fall, and we're glad you joined us here on TV2. I'm Anna Louden.
And I'm Rachel Gross. Fall has greeted Portage County with some heavy rain. Michael Vicario has your weather report.
Well, it was a very rainy day today.
Yeah, I'm sure as many of you saw earlier, Kent's campus got slammed with heavy rain and even received a severe thunderstorm warning.
That's right. The warning is over now, but the National Weather Service gave Portage, Summit, and Stark counties a tornado watch until 10 p.m. Our weather anchor Michael Vicario has the info on what to expect. Hi, Michael.
Yep, that is true. Like Anna said, thankfully the warning is now over, but that doesn't mean that the weather hasn't been severe. It's important to remember that we are still on a tornado watch until 10 o'clock p.m. So if you're going outside or driving, just remember to stay safe out there. So taking a look at the national radar here, you're going to notice that there's a lot going on. So around Ashtabula towards the east side of Ohio here, we are going to be on a tornado watch. So that essentially means that the conditions are favorable for the creation of a tornado. And then moving west over Cleveland and Akron, we are actually on a flood advisory. And moving north of that, up near Sandusky, around Lake Erie there, we are on a gale warning. And then if we move south of that, you are going to notice we are going to be on a flood watch, which, like the tornado watch, essentially means that the conditions are favorable for pretty severe flooding. So it's important to just keep that in mind if you're driving at all, if you're out there, especially if you're going downtown in Cleveland. If you see any high water, just turn around, don't drown, play it safe. Play it safe, and your safety is the most important at the end of the day. So everyone stay safe out there. There's a lot going on, but we'll get through it together. And looking at today's forecast, so the weather, the rain's kind of slowed down a little bit here, but we still got some scattered thunderstorms here. Right now, some rain, 63 degrees, but that is going to cool down as we get later into the evening here. But overall, it's not looking too bad. And let's take a look at the hourly here. So as you can see, 65 degrees, scattered thunderstorms towards this evening, 8 o'clock p.m. And then as we move into early next morning and this evening, it's going to drop to 60 degrees, high 50s at 12. But thankfully, that 58% scattered thunderstorms is going to drop down to a low 21%, and the storm should pass over us here. Now let's move out here. Let's take a look at the statewide temperatures, shall we? So you're going to notice here in Kent, 63 degrees. So overall, not too bad. A little chilly. It's kind of starting to become light jacket weather, hoodie weather, and then overall pretty balanced temperatures throughout the state here. Mid, low 60s. Overall, it's looking pretty good. That's all from me right now. Stay tuned for this week's full forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Michael. The Kent State University Museum and the Wick Poetry Center announced the launch of the Digital Green Book. This is the first time the KSU Museum and Wick Poetry Center have collaborated. They have partnered up to create innovative interactions and emerge poems to inspire creative connections. The subject of the DGB are barbers and stylists living and working in northeastern Ohio, and all relating to the book textures. The DGB is accessible on the KSU Museum's website. And Kent State announced today via email that they will be discontinuing the pass-fail policy that was enacted during the period of remote learning. The email also mentioned that students that are currently enrolled in an in-person class must continue to attend the class in person. In-person classes are not offering in-person and remote instruction. The email sent to all Kent State students, faculty, and staff reminded students to reach out to counseling and psychological services if they are struggling.
The Dome in Kent may become Kent's second medical marijuana dispensary. Jeff Korf, CEO of cannabis company Galena's, is looking to open a new Kent location, but to put the business in the Dome would require approval of a 10-foot property setback variance to be in accordance with Kent City zoning codes. Korf will appear before Kent's Planning Commission to get a conditional use approval and then apply to the Ohio Board of Pharmacy for a license to open for business. And United Way of Portage County will kick off their 2021 campaign in just 3 weeks. The kickoff event will be held at the Midway Drive-In Theater on October 6th from 6 to 10 p.m. and will feature stories of community impact, fireworks, movies, and more. United Way of Portage County provides services to families and individuals in the county with the goals of improving education, achieving financial stability, and promoting healthy lives.
And after being closed for over 18 months due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Akron's Children's Museum is set to reopen on October 1st. Museum members and those wanting to become members are invited back for a preview period starting September 22nd through September 30th. The museum will be open Mondays and Tuesdays for private field trips and have reduced the number of handheld toys throughout the museum. The Akron's Children's Museum will also hold a hands-on Halloween event on October 31st.
The Cleveland Metro Parks were awarded with the Best in Nation award by the American Academy for Park and Recreation Administration. This national gold medal is the highest national honor in the Parks and Recreation field. The Cleveland Metro Parks saw a record-breaking 19.7 million visitors last year, and this is the 5th time the Metro Parks were awarded this gold medal.
See how the university COVID numbers have changed since last week. Have they decreased?
The Biden administration is scrambling to address the border crisis as large amounts of Haitian migrants are being released into the U.S. More on this when TV2 returns.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University, streaming online at kentwired.com.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Thanks for sticking with us. Another Wednesday means that Kent State updated their COVID-19 dashboard. Our own Jason Cohen has the latest.
That is right, Anna. After 3 weeks of increased cases, we actually saw a slightly lower case count on campus. Since students arrived on campus, 301 positive cases were recorded. There were 96 cases this past week, about a 17% decrease from last week, marking the first time cases went down since the start of the semester. 10 rooms on campus are currently being used to isolate students. There have been over 6,800 reported positive COVID cases 2 days straight in Ohio. Nearly 400 new hospitalizations have been reported as well. Ohio currently has the 10th lowest vaccination rate by state. For more information and updates on COVID-19, stick with TV2 News on KentWire.com. I'm Jason Cohen.
Thanks, Jason. The CDC says many teens and children have had the toughest time coping with the stress caused by the pandemic. About 40,000 kids lost parents to COVID-19 or their families lost financial stability. The question about kids' mental health is starting to be brought to the House of Representatives.
Effects on children over the past 18 months have been really substantive. It has impacted their mental health, it's impacted their education, and those impacts have not been equitably distributed. I think children who are living in low-income families, often children in communities of color who may have children who have experienced greater amounts of grief and loss are impacted more.
Statewide temperatures, shall we? So you're going to notice, like before, things aren't going to be very much different. Things will be sitting around the mid to high 50s here in the state, 66, 64 here in Akron and Steubenville. And then as we move towards the south and west side here, things are going to get a little bit more chilly. It's going to cool down to about 57 degrees. Things are looking to be anywhere from mid 50s to mid 60s here. So a little bit varied, but overall pretty chilly temperatures all across the state here. And let's take a look at the radar here, shall we? So you're going to notice here over there, this was taken at 6:04. So you can see that there is some rain still coming over us here. And then there's a large amount of rain here towards the west. And this should all pass over us by the worst of the rain should be around 8 o'clock here, but then as we move into the evening, that should pass over, and hopefully there shouldn't be any more rain for the rest of the evening here, and hopefully for the next few days as well. So even though things are looking a little bit severe, they should pass over us in no time. And let's take a look at the 7-day forecast, shall we? So as you have noticed here on Wednesday, 100% scattered thunderstorms. It's pretty crazy, but thankfully by tomorrow, it's still going to be pretty chilly, mid-50s, but the rain's going to be going away. And then by Friday, the sun's going to be coming out, and it's going to be looking great. And then let's move into the weekend here, and you're going to notice it's still going to be a little chilly, 65, 69, fall weather. And then as we move into the end of the week, we're going to be getting a bit more sun, but overall, it's looking pretty clear. Mid to low 70s, which is great. It amazes me that going into October, we are still getting days like that, but there might not be much of them left, so enjoy them while you can. And yeah, that's all from me. This has been your Wednesday newscast weather anchor, Michael Vicario. To keep up with all things Kent weather, check out KentWire.com. Stay safe out there, everyone.
Thanks, Michael. A large group of Haitian migrants are being released into the United States after the Biden administration announced the group faced immediate expulsion. Volunteers are caring for some of the migrants inside a warehouse. CNN's Steve Campion took a tour of the facility.
In a large warehouse this afternoon, about 30 migrants who crossed into the United States along the border ate lunch at peace. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints partnered with NACC Disaster Services to open this facility in North Houston. We're told so far they've welcomed 120 migrants, mostly Haitians. 60 have already moved on to stay with family or friends somewhere else in the United States. A local group, Houston Haitians United, is working with the church to help with translation. An organizer says it's important to remember these migrants left Haiti years ago. They're just now making their way from South America to Texas. He's upset many are now being deported back to a country they fled from and have no home in.
There's just a lot of stuff that's, unstable in Haiti right now. And for these people to be, just dropped right back in Haiti where they probably don't even have a life or have any family there anymore, it's disturbing. It's disturbing. I'm very disappointed with our government.
We anticipate between 200 and 250 today. And we do anticipate that increasing to maybe 300 or 400 until the situation along the border is decompressed.
The Federal Reserve may soon roll back purchases on Treasury and mortgage-backed securities as the U.S. economy continues to recover. It could also mean that interest rates will be lifted as early as next year, as opposed to predictions that this wouldn't be until 2023. The Fed also expects unemployment and inflation to be slightly higher at the end of this year, as economists begin to factor in the Delta variant of COVID to winter forecasts.
And a critical week to avoid a government shutdown at the end of the month and increase the borrowing limit, but Republicans and Democrats are still in a disagreement. This means the U.S. could default on its debt for the first time ever and set off a domino effect of negative impacts on the economy. In today's Consumer Watch, a closer look at how this debt ceiling showdown could impact you directly.
A showdown in Washington with a potential direct impact on your bottom line.
It will be American families who suffer most.
They will not get Senate Republicans help with raising the debt limit.
Democrats pushing to raise the federal debt ceiling are in the middle of a standoff with Republicans. A new report from Moody's Analytics paints a catastrophic picture of what could happen if lawmakers don't take action.
It would create a lot of snowballing effects throughout the economy. We estimate that the unemployment rate would surge to 9%. 6 million jobs would be lost.
The debt limit is the maximum the federal government is allowed to borrow to pay for last year's bills. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen sent an open letter to Congress to urge them to raise that borrowing limit. And in a Wall Street Journal op-ed, she warned if it does not happen, nearly 50 million seniors could stop receiving Social Security checks for a time.
And the infamous McDonald's toys are going to be changing. The goal to help the environment, how they are making this change, and more.
And the Indians took on the Kansas City Royals last night. Keep it here to see how the Tribe fared against Kansas City.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Good evening, Portage County. I'm Matt Corrali, and here's what's happening in the world of sports. The Kent State women's golf team traveled to Knoxville, Tennessee to compete in the 2021 Mercedes-Benz Collegiate Championship this past Monday and Tuesday. The Golden Fascists finished 11th overall as fifth-year player Chloe Salord led the way as she shot a .222 over the course of the two-day tournament. The team will head to Glencoe, Illinois to compete in the Wyndon Memorial on Monday and Tuesday, hosted by the University of Northwestern. And let's take you to Cleveland, where the Indians played the Kansas City Royals. We'll pick it up bottom one, bases loaded, one out, and this is Yu Chang ripping one to left field. You can see Andrew Benintendi slipping and missing the ball as it rolls to the wall. Miles Straw comes in to score. The ball still hasn't been fielded yet by Benintendi. Mercado scores. Jose Ramirez right behind him. The throw to third is not in time as Yu Chang has himself a bases loaded RBI triple, 3-0 Cleveland. Now in the second, 1-1 pitch to Ernie Clement, who takes one out towards deep left center field. This one is gone. It's a solo shot for Clement, and the Indians lead it 4-0. In the seventh, Cal Quantrill shutting out the Royals until right now. That is Hunter Dozier with a high, deep drive to left field to put the Royals on the board with 2 outs here, 4-1. And a few batters later, this is Nicky Lopez facing Blake Parker, who hits a grounder to second. And Ernie Clement with a sliding grab. Throw to first is in time. A great play made by Ernie Clement as he's doing it on both sides of the scorecard on this night. As another look at it, he makes a great sliding attempt. Sidearm throw to the bag is in time. That's the starting pitcher, Cal Quantrill, giving it up for his second baseman. And you can see him mouthing, "I love that kid." The Tribe take it over the Royals 4-2 and will get ready for their final series of the season at home against the division-leading White Sox, starting on Thursday with a day-night doubleheader. Chicago Bears head coach Matt Nagy has announced that rookie quarterback Justin Fields will make his first NFL start in Cleveland against the Browns on Sunday. Fields, who is an Ohio State product, saw some action in a 20-17 win against the Cincinnati Bengals this past Sunday after quarterback Andy Dalton suffered a bruised bone in his knee. You can catch all of the action as the Browns will take on the Bears Sunday at 1 on CBS. And that's all I have for sports. Make sure to tune into our sports show, Sports Corner, airing Mondays at 8, live streaming right here on KentWire.com.
And the crazy reality show known as Survivor is back for its 41st season. How will this season be different from the last?
Myth. I can party with people as long as they don't have symptoms. That myth is false. As we've seen, up to 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can pass it on to others. So I'd recommend avoiding any social parties, especially indoor ones. If you want to try to socialize but reduce your risk, I'd recommend meeting outside in small groups, continuing to wear a mask, and socially distancing from others if you can. Then together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She kept
carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Welcome back. McDonald's is making more changes to its Happy Meal. On Tuesday, the fast food giant announced it would greatly lessen the use of plastics in its Happy Meal toys worldwide. This means starting in 2022, kids can expect other prizes like 3D paper-based items. In addition, Burger King pledged in 2019 to get rid of non-biodegradable plastic toys worldwide before 2026.
And the Emmy Award-winning series Survivor, hosted and produced by Jeff Proberst, launches their 41st season tonight on CBS at 8. 18 castaways will be stranded on the islands of Fiji and divided into 3 tribes of 6. It is claimed to be one of the most dangerous seasons in the history of the show. The mental and physical challenges force players to choose between personal risk and reward. The overall goal of the show is to outwit, outplay, outlast, and ultimately be crowned the sole survivor.
And bring on the pumpkins and sweater weather, because as of 3:20 p.m. today, it is officially fall. Today marks the fall equinox, where day and night are almost each 12 hours long. Now, we won't fall back until November 7th, but daylight hours will get shorter and shorter until then. That is one thing I am not looking forward to, but I do love sweater weather.
And that is all the time we have for the Wednesday newscast.
To stay up to date on these stories and more, check out KentWired.com and follow us on social media at KentWired. I'm Rachel Gross.
And I'm Anna Louden. Have a great night, Portage County.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.